Hi, I'm Becca, and one of my most memorable moments of my grandma was her love for birds and bird watching. My favorite part was the hummingbird feeder she had, and I loved watching the hummingbirds with her. And now every time I see or hear birds, it's just a bittersweet reminder of her.
Hi, my name is Eden, and a favorite memory with my grandma would be when we would go to her house for dinner or lunch, and then we would stay the night, and she would always have breakfast ready for us in the morning, and she would always make us dessert or anything we wanted.
Hi, I'm Jessie, and one of my favorite memories of Grandma would be when all the cousins and I would go and get the popsicles, and she would give us all the flavors, and we got to eat them and run around and go crazy on the golf cart and just have a lot of fun together. Another one of my favorite memories would be when when we would pick raspberries and she would make raspberry pie. It was so good.
The things that I remember best about Grandma was how much she cared about her family and each cousin. She did a lot for all of us. She always made sure we were fed. That was a big thing. We always had food, and she always made cookies for all of us and pies. But I could really see how much she had a heart for us, so I'm sure she had a heart for all the other people she knew in her life. And another thing is she never sat down. Like, she was always doing something, and I admired that because she was a hardworking woman. Yeah. I have a lot of memories with her. When we would come to Ohio very young, and she always had something for us. I remember when we used to have the plates with the animals on them. We would all go eat outside. But main thing I remember is how much she cared about all of us, and
So I cannot summarize all of my special memories with my grandma just into one, but I do want to share as many as I can with you. Growing up, I was born and raised in Florida because that's where my parents were, and they've always lived in Ohio since I was born. But it never felt like they were far away. They always would come and visit. I mean, typically about twice a year, and we'd always look forward to, my sisters and I would always look forward to going there in the summertime. And that trip, it flew by because Grandma would always have things to entertain us for in the ride, like these little Beanie Babies, all different kinds. And we would just play with those, and she would play these songs. The two that I remember the most are Keep in the Middle of the Road and Out in the West Texas town of El Paso. I love that one. But also she would always write me letters. She would send cards for everything. Easter, Valentine's Day, birthdays especially, and I kept every single one of them. And she usually would send an envelope with a stamp on it already, so I would have no excuse but to write her back. And this one time they came to visit, and I'm not even sure how she had it with her, but I guess my mom had told her, or maybe even I told her, that I was planning on trying out for softball, but I didn't have a left-hander's glove because I'm left-handed, and she brought her own from Ohio, and then she snuck it under my arm while I was sleeping before they left in the morning to travel back to Ohio, and I still have that glove. Let's see. Oh, she definitely always would, if we didn't like something, she would always have us sit at the table until we finished eating it. And for me, it was milk. And to this day, I love milk. But when I was younger and growing up, I hated it. But I'm so glad I love milk now. This one time also, I had a band concert in high school, and her and Grandpa just showed up for that, and I was surprised. They always surprise me and my sisters and my family. And cardinals are a big thing. Cardinals always make me think of her, and I see them everywhere. Even in Florida, I see the cardinals, and every time I would see something that would have cardinals on it, I would always get it for her. And then when I'd come over, I'd see all the things I got her up hanging, or wherever she had them in the house. Recently, probably one of my favorite memories was when we came here, and all of us went to go see the Minions movie, and we dressed up, and she did too. She dressed up with us, and we went to see the Minions movies together. And then even just after that, when she started getting pretty sick, and thought for sure she probably wasn't going to be able to make it to my wedding, and they came and surprised me, and I wasn't expecting that, and I'm so glad she was able to. And I'll always get to remember that. I'm grateful for that. And I just love her. Definitely miss her. But I'm glad that we know Jesus and we'll be able to get to see her again soon. Okay.
Hi, my name is Gabby, and a funny memory with my grandma is when she was riding the golf cart with me. She left me on the golf cart and she told me, "Do not drive the golf cart." And I started the golf cart and I ran into the picnic table. And she saw it and I yelled to her and I said, "You can't catch me." And she said, "Oh yes I can." And she chased me down the yard and gave me a spanking. And I wasn't laughing anymore.
There are a ton of things that I could talk about that I will remember Grandma by, but the biggest thing I would say is Grandma always spoke life. If it was like through talking about the birds or talking about flowers or singing hymns to us, it was always life. There was no negativity. There was no death or no it was just always positive. And in that, I never heard her complain, even throughout the tough trials and through the things she had to go through. Not once did I hear a complaint out of her. She just served people and just spoke encouraging words into our lives. But with that, I just remember her always being very handy. She would always find some way to fix something. So when she came to Florida one time, I remember staying home from school to be with her, and our mailbox, the flag was dimming, so it didn't look red anymore. And she's like, "Do you guys have any paint?" And we didn't have paint, so she pulled out her red nail polish from her purse and painted the flag with the nail polish, and it actually worked. And I would just remember thinking Grandma can do anything. And she just did that all my life. If we ever had something broken or if a piece fell off something, she would always have some way to fix it. But those are just a couple things, but I'm definitely gonna miss her, and I'll just always hold that in my heart, is that to speak life into other people.
What's going on, guys? It's Randy, the favorite grandchild, obviously. Here to talk about Grandma, though, a little bit. One thing I'm going to miss about Grandma is every time we came over to her house, how she was always prepared to feed every single one of us into the dirt. You would have these opportunities that not a lot of other people would have, where you walk in and there's just a plate full of food, and then after your plate full of food was gone, she'd be like, "Do you want some ice cream?" And you'd already eaten so much dang food that you're stuffed, but you're eating that ice cream. But I mean I'm not complaining. I love ice cream, but being able to have someone who's willing to feed you whatever you want, whenever you want, and just being so supportive of every single one of us is amazing. Grandma, we love you, and we'll see you again one day, but this is Randy signing off for now. I'll see you guys. Bye.
Hi, my name is Michael, and my favorite memory of Grandma is when we used to go in the playhouse and play with the little toys when we were younger.
Growing up, we lived in Florida, and me and my sisters were the only grandchildren to never have the opportunity to live in Ohio next to our grandparents and see them all the time. But even though that was the case, I never not felt Grandma and Grandpa's love. They always sent birthday cards no matter what. They never missed a birthday, and they always made it a point to come see us, whether we would come see them or they would come see us. We always saw them at least once a year. And every time we saw them, Grandma would always make some sort of difference in our lives, whether it was something small that she fixed in our house or just being supportive, because her and my mom would be on the phone a lot. And I know they were talking about me and my sisters or all the cousins, but Grandma always knew what was going on in my life. Even if I didn't talk to her, she still knew, and she still kept track of that, even though she had so much going on and so many more grandchildren. That's really shocking to me that someone could have that kind of memory, but my grandma had the greatest memory. Even though there was such a physical distance, there was never a distance of emotional support. Grandma just showed her love no matter what, and I'm grateful for that now, because she's gone, but she's in Ohio, and I can feel her love still, even from there. And I know by now that she knows that Becca was in fact not the crazy golf cart driver, but that it was me. So I'm gonna be hearing about that when I get to heaven with her. But I miss you, Grandma, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the family that you provided us with, that you and Grandpa gave us, and that you drew us all so close. And I know that I have best friends for life. People that understand what it's like to go through this. I just miss you, and I took it for granted sometimes. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, thank you for the impact you made on so many lives, not even just your families, but everybody that's listening to this video. I'm sure she changed your life in some way too. We love you, Grandma, and we know that you're in good hands now. We miss you.